It's time for a daycare Q&A. Hey guys, Sarah and Bryony here from Work Life Glue, back for another Daycare Day video where every Friday I post a daycare related video, and a lot of you have been asking me tons and tons of questions, and so I wanted to hop on and do a Q&A. I put some calls out in videos and I've received a lot of comments, so I'm just going to go through and answer a bunch of your questions. If you have more questions while you're watching this, just leave them below. I may do like a monthly Q&A because I do receive a lot of questions. And I just want to preface this whole video by saying I am in no way a childcare expert. I just really like to share, and this is one of my passions, to share with you guys. And I feel like a lot of you can connect with me and relate, and I just like the community I'm creating here with all of you guys. And you know, you guys give me advice, I give you advice, I share what I do, and sometimes that helps people, sometimes you guys give me ideas back, and we can bounce ideas off each other. So I'm in no way an expert. I've been a childcare provider now for only 2 years, so it's not like I've even been doing it forever, but I was a nanny before and a teacher, middle school teacher, and I'm a mom. So I do have some experience, and I just really try to be the best I can be, which I'm sure all of you are the same way. So I just like to share what I learn along the way because there's so much out there. So hopefully you guys can get some information from this video, some inspiration, and if anything, hopefully it's at least just entertaining to look at the baby. I don't know. But I'm just gonna jump right in. I have a whole list I emailed to myself of questions that you guys asked, so let's just jump right in. So Lisa Gilbert asked, I have 18 months to 5 years. How do you get them to play the way you want them to play? Mine only want to play superheroes. They will play bad guy, good guy with anything, animals, trucks, blocks. So I guess my answer to that would be I don't get them to play a certain way, I guess. I do have some structured times every day, so we do like a preschool craft or Play-Doh or painting or some kind of like sensory bins, or in the summertime we'll collect things and paint with them or do all kinds of like more process art type stuff. But when it comes to free play, I don't really control that because in my opinion, kids play in ways that help them grow. So if they're wanting to play a certain way, it's helping them grow. Now if they're playing like in a rough way, obviously I'll intervene or something like that. But if they want to play bad guy, good guy, I think that's totally okay. I guess if you have a further question of maybe why you don't like that or something, or you just want them to branch out, you could always set up a certain center or something with different kinds of toys. But if they gravitate towards that with anything, no big deal. Personally, that's how I feel. My kids, in our main daycare room, we have just open-ended toys, magnetiles, blocks, Duplo blocks, magnetic, different shapes and stuff, and they turn them into whatever they want. The girls play baby dolls, they have their little cell phones. The boys make snow blowers and like vacuum cleaners, and like they're inventing things. So it's, you know, they're gonna play the way they want to play no matter what you do. But I think it is good to also like switch up and offer them different things. But if you're doing that and they still play the same way, what's the big deal? That's my 2 cents. Okay. She also asked, also, do you have kiddos coming and going at different times? How does that work for you? Mine lose it as soon as my attention is not on them. During the summertime, I have that a lot more. During the school year, not so much. Most of my kids come between 7 and 8 and leave, you know, between 3:45 and 5, which I really like. In the summertime, when parents have activities or they're off more, it can get a little frustrating when like I don't know exactly when kids are coming, because then I want to wait to do our projects or whatever, or go to the park. And I do get a little frustrated with that, but I would just want, if I had a lot of parents coming and going, I'd want like a 15-minute window of when they would be there so I could plan accordingly. But I would just try different things out and see what works. If the kids are losing it, maybe have them all sit down and do an activity during the time when a lot of kids are coming and going. But yeah, I haven't experienced that a whole lot, so I don't really know. Ashley W asked, not related to this video that she posted on, but what do you think is a good, helpful, appropriate gift for an in-home provider for Christmas? This is a great question. I personally, if it were me, love getting money because I often don't spend on myself, especially for like clothes and things of that nature that I usually wait until like Christmas or my birthday to treat myself. So I love getting money because then I can just buy what I want. I have gotten massage certificates before. I think that's an awesome gift. If you know they love coffee, maybe a gift card to a coffee shop. A gift for their family, maybe like with like a movie or like a pass to a children's museum or something. I know some providers have had all their parents chip in and find backup care on one specific day and gave them an extra paid day off, which I think is a really cool idea. And like give them the, you know, the restriction that they have to spend time with their family, not like cleaning or something. I think that is a really great gift. Yeah, if you know they're into something. I had a family give me personalized notepads with my name on them, which I loved because I love taking notes on things. I'm a list maker, so that was really nice. Just anything like that. Even just a heartfelt note, honestly, would make my day. Just saying like, we appreciate what you do, because so often parents are coming and going and you're often wondering like, do they like what I do? Am I doing okay? And you're just trying so hard to be a good provider, and just to hear that parents really do appreciate you is just such a wonderful thing. And just like any kind of thoughtful gift. I had one parent give me these earrings. Actually, she works at a jewelry store, and she noticed at the interview that I have a sapphire wedding ring, and she got me these sapphire earrings for a gift when I was about to have this little one. And honestly, I've been wearing them ever since. Like, it made me cry because it just showed that she had noticed that. Like, we had never even talked about it. It makes me tear up too because sapphire is her birthstone, and I wore them during the birth. Like, it was a very sentimental gift. Even if it hadn't, I mean, I'm sure they weren't cheap, so it doesn't have to be something expensive, but just that she noticed that without me saying anything, it was just such a super thoughtful gift, and I haven't taken them off for 3 months, so obviously it meant a lot to me. So just something, you know, that shows that you've paid attention can also be like a really good gift. Okay, J&L mom asked, I'm a stay-at-home mom to 2 little boys, and I struggle with playing with them all day. That's what they really want from me. So my question is, how much time do you spend playing with all the kids? And when you are not playing, what are you doing with your time? Now, this is a great question. I struggle with this, especially with my own daughter. She doesn't really play yet, but I think the best thing you can do is set aside a time every day. It doesn't have to be at the same time, but just call it like mom and fill in the blank's name special time, and you give them even 15 minutes of time devoted just to that kid, doing whatever they want to do, and they know during that time is the time they get. And then any other time is just bonus. So what I do with the kids is we have like our preschool time, and then we have free play time, and during the free play time, that's their time to kind of play. Sometimes I will play with them, sometimes I am getting preschool stuff done, changing diapers, helping kids go potty, you know, stuff like that. But just knowing that there's a time of day when I'm like specifically focused on them, I think really helps. And then I try to integrate like crafts and stuff where I take each kid individually while the other kids are playing, and we just work on something together. I think helps us bond. So I think just having that time every day and maybe having a special name for it can really help that child feel special, and alleviate the stress that you need to be playing with them all the time, because I don't think it's good for kids if somebody's playing with them all the time. They need to learn to play on their own. And then you could say, oh, we'll play again at this time for Mama Celia's special time. But right now you need to go play so Mama can do X, Y, or Z. It may take a while, but I think it's great because you have specific time with them, and it's forcing them to figure out how to play on their own as well. So it's like a win-win. Okay, next question. Myra Kirk asked, just wondering, as I'm a childminder in Ireland, do you stay in the house with the kids every day? Here we head out with kids to toddlers group every morning. Just thinking it must be a long day for you sometimes. We try not to stay in all the time. In the winter, we try to get outside a couple times a week, depending on the wind chill and stuff like that, because it's very cold here. A lot of the winter is like below 0 wind chill, so it's not safe to be outside very much. But when it's, you know, in the teens, when the wind chill is factored in, we will go outside and try to get some fresh air. In the summer, we are outside as much as possible. We go to the parks, they're in walking distance, play outside in our backyard, that kind of thing. We go for walks. We don't have anything within walking distance from my house that would be like within a reasonable walk that we could do as a group, and I don't have the transportation to haul 10 kids, nor would I find that a fun experience at all. But you know, if I had a smaller group, maybe I would transport sometimes, but no, but we try to get outside as much as possible. Nikki 5900 said, I have a question for your Q&A. What is a typical daycare day like as far as your schedule and how you set up the day? So I just recently posted a day in the life. I will link below. I've done 2 so far. I plan to do more in the future. My schedule is very restricted right now based on preschool buses coming and going. I have one bus that comes between 8:05 and 8:30, and then they come back around 11:15, and then I have another bus that comes to pick up for preschool at about 11:40, and they come back at 2:30. So that is really, we have to fit stuff in there. So we usually do table time that in the morning when they're like dropping off, or just like playtime, but I try to put out like puzzles and stuff like that. Bless you. Then we go up for breakfast, a bus comes, and then we come back down. We do our preschool time, circle time, craft, worksheet thing, story time, and then we normally play or we go outside. And this is with diaper changes and bathroom kind of thrown in there too. And little ones, I try to get the littlest ones down for their morning nap when we're doing preschool. And then around 10:45 we come in, set up our stuff for nap, head upstairs. They watch a show while I'm making lunch. Then we have lunch. The other kid goes to preschool while the other ones come back, kind of thing. They exchange. And then we have nap until 3. And then we get up, we have snack, and we play until parents pick up. That's like my very basic schedule. Erica Fuller asks, how do you deal with parents not coming to pick up their kids on time? Do you have a number of strikes or minutes they can be late for? Now, this is a great question. I have not dealt with this, and I don't know if it's just because I have amazing parents, which I do, or if it's because during the interview when I tell parents that when they read my policy, they see that I do not have a late fee. Like if parents are late, I do not charge something. And what I say in the interview is that I don't do this because I expect parents to respect my time and to not enroll if these hours don't work. And I say if it became an issue where parents were being late often, we would sit down and talk about how this daycare is probably not a good fit. And I think that just gets parents to see that like I'm done when I'm done. I have other things to do. I work a 10-hour day. I don't want to work longer, otherwise I would. And I just really don't have that issue. I've had, you know, when there was like a tornado warning, a parent came late. When there was like a snowstorm, a parent came late. That stuff I understand, but nobody's taken advantage of me and it's never been an issue. So maybe just doing like, you know, I don't have a late fee, but if you come 3 times in, you know, 2 months late, maybe this daycare is not for you. That kind of thing. It really just depends on how much it bothers you and how much it affects your family and if you want to deal with it or not. Okay, Fiority, I think is how you pronounce it. For your kids who get picked up by bus for preschool, how do you charge them as full-time or part-time? For me, I charge them just like I charge anybody else. Personally, it makes my day a lot harder to put kids on the bus and take them off the bus. I much prefer the summers when there's no buses coming, even though I have more kids all the time. and they're gone for 2.5 hours. They're still with me 7.5 hour days. So, you know, that's still like a full day. So I still charge the normal rate. Plus, I couldn't get a kid to come for just 2 hours to fill that spot. So that's kind of how I look at it. They're paying for the spot, not the hours they're here. And that's just how I see it. Everybody can do it differently, but that's how I do it. Yeah, I hope that answers that. And honestly, I offer preschool curriculum that I pay for with tuition. So to me, it's just like if parents really want to do a preschool outside, that's their choice. But I'm not going to change my rate because of their choice, I guess, is how I look at it. She also asked, can you also mention how your payment system works? Which methods you accept? So I personally do all my payments online through KidCare. Used to be Minute Menu. It's now kidcare.com. KIDKARE.com. It's what the food program now switched to, and it's not my favorite program, but it's working right now. So I like it because I do all my accounting on there anyway, so it just keeps track of all the payments. It's all automated, so it just sends out invoices for me, and parents can set it up to automatically pay. So like I never have to worry about like a missed checkbook or bounce check or anything like that. It just happens and it's in my account. I don't really have to think about it. I do accept checks as well, but nobody really does that. So that's just what works for me. Cameron Vernon asked, how do you deal with sibling squabbles between daycare kids that are siblings? Let me tell you, I have dealt with this. What I have found is that I tend to do 1, 2, 3 magic with the kids, where there's a whole book on it. I can link below. But basically, a kid does something they're not supposed to, or is acting annoying or whining or whatever it is. I say that's 1. If they do it again, I say that's 2. Or if they do something else that's naughty or whatever. And then if we get to 3, it's a timeout, or I take something away or whatever. So what I do is with sibling squabbles, when it's like they're just fighting just because they're siblings and there's really like they're not hurting each other, they're just like she's touching me or whatever, I count them both. So I say Sally and Susan, that's 1. Even if it's just 1 doing it, you know, they bounce back so much, and a lot of times it's one sibling trying to get the other one bad and whatever. So I count them both, and then if it happens again, I say that's 2. And if they get to 3, I will have them both sit in timeout. I'll force them to not play next to each other. I'll take away what they're playing with and say, you guys can't handle this right now, you need to go play with something else. So I usually just do it as like a joint thing, because otherwise I would spend all day trying to figure out who did what or whatever. But a lot of times with siblings, they're just going back and forth and that kind of thing. And that's just like a general rule. If, you know, each child sibling set is different, so I would kind of get to know them and then play it by ear, I guess. Okay, baby had to go down for a nap, so let's continue. Diana Wise Carver, 52, asked, how do you cope with rainy days? How do you encourage them to safely get rid of energy on icky days? I thought I might actually do a whole video on this. If you guys are interested, let me know. Rainy days, I'm just gonna lump that in with extremely cold days. Here in Minnesota, we have a lot of those in the winter time. How do I deal with them? We try to do movement type of things inside. So I've tried lots of different things. I have these mats in both of my daycare spaces. You can see what I'm talking about if you watch the tours. But basically, you know, I'll have them, they can all do like a dance move or a somersault or whatever. I'll put music on and we'll jump and we'll dance and get kind of crazy in our spot. I have a lot of, you know, YouTube video playlists and like Pandora and Amazon Prime music that has like kid songs that have actions and stuff like that, so we'll do stuff like that. I love the YouTube yoga videos. I wish I could remember. It's like Cosmic Kids or something, so we'll come up to this room actually, or where our only TV is that the kids can watch, and I'll put she has like these yoga videos to like stories and stuff. She'll like tell a story with it and you'll do the different moves, and it's kind of calming, but it's also getting them moving. Stuff like that is what I usually do. Hopefully that answers, or I just try to, you know, keep us busy doing other things. But yeah, kids get squirrely, that's for sure. Lenora Dorsey asked, if you had a child and the parent moved her elsewhere, would you take them back? My quick answer is no, but obviously it would depend on the situation. If they move them because, you know, they were moving or something and they weren't close enough, or like their work hours or something, and then they changed again and they wanted to come back, yeah, I probably would if I really like the family. If they move them because, you know, they wanted more of a preschool or like a more educational learning environment, I say that in quotes because kids learn through play and I do a ton with them. I can't imagine them learning more somewhere else, but that's beside the point. Would I take them back? Probably not, because I would feel like maybe there was just an issue that they didn't really want to talk about that happened there that made them want to come back, or they, you know, were just coming back temporarily, but they weren't telling me that. You know, if they didn't leave on amazing terms, I wouldn't take them back personally. That's just, I don't want to deal with drama and having a kid come and go. It's just too stressful on me and the kids and finances and stuff. I just wouldn't want to deal with it. Let's see. Sam 111880 asked, wondering if you know much on how you go about opening in-home daycare versus in-home preschool versus in-home kindergarten versus in-home K-8 base grades, as opposed to working for a school or center. Originally I was gonna do an in-home preschool, but the area I live in has a preschool with busing, 2 of them actually. So I think it would just be too much competition, but for Minnesota, it's no different really than being a daycare. You just would call yourself a preschool. I don't know anything at all about any of the other stuff, so I apologize about that, but I just don't know. Mommy on the Go +2 said, do the moms and dads whose kids you care for know about your channel? They very well should, I would hope, but I don't know for sure. I have a privacy policy that they all sign with links to all my social media, and YouTube is on there, and I say, like, you know, your kids' names and faces and stuff will not, and no information about your child will be talked about, but that I do post things on various social media platforms about advice and things of that nature, which is all true. So do I sit them down and say I'm on YouTube and stuff? No, because to me it's kind of like a separate thing, but they all are given that information to do with whatever they please, I guess. Sam 111880 asked again, okay, your setup is good, but it seems really like it's going to be really expensive to actually decorate setup. If you're unsure about how many clients you're going to get, do you know how many you're going to do before you set up, go out to get the furniture materials? So asking about my, you know, investing a lot in your daycare materials and setup and furniture and all that if you don't really know. No, I wouldn't invest a ton of money in it at first, especially if you're not making any money. I started out pretty basic. I got a lot of the toys secondhand, a lot of the furniture I already had, or is like IKEA, so it's affordable. And then I just kind of added as I went. I did get a grant end of my first year, so about a little over a year ago, of $1,000 to add to my program, so stuff like that is great. But yeah, I wouldn't go crazy. You don't make a ton of money being a childcare provider anyway, beyond like to sustain your family, so I would not dump a ton of money into it. And you know, kids play best when they don't have tons of stuff around them. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about that. Sarah Burnett asked, do you make your kids sit at circle time, or do you just stop circle time when you start losing their interest and they start getting up? Depends on the day, and it's kind of a blend of everything. What I've learned works best for the kids is if they're actually sitting in a chair. If they're on the floor, they start to run around and get squirrely, and if one gets up, then they all start to kind of get up. So I usually have them sit in a chair, and we bring it into a circle. And I try to keep it pretty quick and fast and short, and if they're really engaged, I'll go longer, and if they're losing interest, we'll just move on. And I like to get them involved too, like, do you guys want to do our question of the day? And they're all like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it, but you have to sit in your seat. So like giving them the choice too, even though like I already planned we were going to do that, but if they feel like they're choosing to do it, they're more invested in, you know, actually following the rules for it, because you can't really do stuff if they're like crazy. So, but if everybody starts to lose interest, I just say, guys, do you want to just take a break from this? And like, yeah, we want to play, or we want to go outside, or whatever. Or I'll say, do you guys want to do your craft now? Or we'll change the order of things. I'm just very flexible with it. I don't do circle time every single day, because I find if I do that, they get sick of it. So it's more novel to do it like 3 times a week. So that also can keep them more engaged. And it depends on the age ranges. Right now I have a lot of 3- and 4-year-olds, so that helps. But when I had younger ones, you know, we did it less frequently. You just gotta kind of adapt to what your kids are able to do. Randy R asks, when do you plan your curriculum and when do you prep your crafts? I struggle fitting in anything really elaborate. We usually just do free art stuff. First of all, I think free art stuff is the best stuff. That's where they learn, and I think that's totally fine. I personally wanted to do more, and I don't have the time nor the want to be on Pinterest finding crafts and running to stores on my time off to collect supplies and stuff like that. That's why I was doing the Gee Whiz curriculum, which I think is a great curriculum, but it's all online and you have to gather the materials yourself. That's why I pay more to do Funshine Express. They send me a box with the crafts already, with all the materials inside, and a book that says exactly what to do. It has newsletters for the parents, and I love it because all I have to do to prep the craft is get it out in the morning, maybe collect some paint or, you know, paper plates or something that might not have come with it, and then we are ready. And I don't have to do a ton of accumulating of things and thinking beforehand, because I just don't have the time. I do not want my career to take over my family life, and it already does a lot. So it's just something I refuse to do. So I pay more to have a curriculum sent to me. That's just how I do it. I plan for that on a monthly basis. I just go through my Funshine Express curriculum book and plan what days we're going to do certain crafts. Certain crafts I can tell like won't work well for my group, and certain ones will be great. So I just kind of plan that out, and then we just go for it. I will add in like seasonal things, and I do like to do a lot of process art and stuff like that, but a lot of that doesn't take a lot of thought up front. I'll just try to do that like once a month, and if I need to buy anything for it, I do it once a month, so that I'm not like weekly out with my girls when I could be spending time with my family out shopping for things for daycare, because it just, my time with my family is very valuable. And the last question is from Amy Miller. Such great ideas. Love all the family games. Oh, this is on my Christmas gifts video, which I can link to below, for my daughters. Do you keep certain toys special and not use in the daycare? And I should do a whole video on balancing being a parent to your kids and balancing being a provider, and how that can come in conflict a lot. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. If you're not familiar, I have a almost 3-year-old and a almost 3-month-old, both daughters, and I can definitely tell when my older daughter is during daycare, and I can tell that it's not daycare by her behavior, because I think it is hard for her to share her space and the toys and everything. So what I personally do, my daughter does not have to share any of her toys. Her toys are separate. They're in either our living room or her bedroom. Daycare kids do not get access to those unless she chooses. She likes to now bring toys down to the daycare space. I'm still figuring out if she has to share those. I usually let her just play with it, and if she wants to share, which a lot of times she does, then fine. And if it's getting to be something kids are fighting over, then I'll just say, let's wait till after daycare, because all your friends want to play with that right now, but you don't want to share, and that's okay, but we're gonna just put it back upstairs in your room or whatever. It's really hard because she's 2. She just doesn't get it yet. But that's why I think it's really important to have separate toys. We typically don't play with daycare toys unless it's during daycare hours. So I'm trying to help her learn, like, these are daycare toys that all your friends can play with. And then your toys in your room are just Celia's toys. Because I don't want her to feel like she has to share her toys, because I think that's really, really hard. And I don't want daycare to be a hard thing for her more than it already can be. So that's my explanation for that. So anything she gets for Christmas or whatever are her things that are separate from daycare. She still has a very hard time sometimes sharing daycare toys, I think because it's her house and she thinks they are hers. But I try to keep them as separate as I can. I'm doing the best I can, but you know, I'm not a 2-year-old. I'm not in her brain, and it's gonna take some time. So that is what I do. And if you guys have any suggestions on that, those of you who have had kids and you do daycare, I would love to hear them, and I'm sure others would benefit from them as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video if you have stayed to the end, and thank you to those of you who submitted questions. If you have further questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to accumulate more questions that come along and do a separate Q&A every so often. If I get enough, I'll do it monthly. And let me know if there's videos that you guys want to see. I'm here for you. I'm not doing this for me. So if there's things you want to see, let me know. I have so many great ideas for daycare, but I want them to be things that you guys actually want to see. So let me know. I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you get special time with your family. The whole purpose of this job is lost if you don't focus on your family when it's time to focus on your family, because, you know, we are extending our homes to other families to provide a family environment, and if you're distancing and not giving the adequate amount of attention to your own family, I just think, what is the point? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you again soon. Bye guys.